Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about In Towards Freedom Part 2, or the last part, and India Wins Freedom. So in this part we are going to learn how India won freedom. Indian National Congress. So the Indian National Congress achieved limited success during its early years. The leaders of the Congress were now known as moderates. In the last time before this, they were known as delegates. They believed in pleading with the British. So their job was to plead with the British, write letters and plead the British about bringing reforms. Gradually, their group grew another group which was formed within Congress. They were called radicals. They wanted to oppose the British strongly, or we can say they were in favor of strikes and boycotts. Okay, some popularly known leaders of radical group. There were three popular leaders known of radical group. They are Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal. They were popularly known as Lal Bal Pal. Partition of Bengal. In 19th July 1905, the British decided to partition Bengal. So if Bengal was like this, they wanted to partition it like this. Why? The British wanted to partition Bengal because they wanted to have a part in which largely Hindus population was there. Another part was to have Muslim majority. As we saw in the last part, that they used the divide and rule policy. So here also there is the same thing. But the people could not afford that. Indian people could not afford that. So they strongly opposed the partition. The Congress launched Swadeshi, or the boycott movement. And as a result, the British were forced to unite Bengal in 1911. Now we are going to learn about Swadeshi and the boycott movement. So Swadeshi, first we'll learn what is Swadeshi. Swadeshi means of one's own country. So Swadeshi itself, the word itself suggests Swa means our, Deshi means country. Swadeshi, our country, or of one's country. So what does the movement? What does this movement aimed to? This movement aimed to popularize the good use of goods made in India, like khadi cloth. Do not go to British schools, colleges. Do not go to the jobs which were under the British authority. Do not use their goods and all those things. The people made huge bonfires of foreign goods. Not only this, but they did not send their children to colleges of British and schools of British. The government tried to suppress the movement. Gandhiji leads the nation. In 1915, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, was his full name, returned from South Africa, where he had fought against the racist policies of white rulers. So we know that incident of that train station, where Gandhiji was driven out of that train because because of his skin color. So that policy was known as racist policy. His method of fighting was known as satyagraha, which was based on two principles: truth and non-violence. After returning to India, he not only fought with the British but also prevailing religious practices, especially the caste system. He asked people not to obey the unjust laws of government. I've got a photo of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, or Gandhiji. So I hope everybody knows them. Yeah. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre. This is the very bad day in the history of India. On 13th April 1919, a meeting, actually it is written meeting, but it's not meeting, it was not a meeting. The people had, it was their festival, Baisakhi. So they went to the Jallianwala Bagh and they were celebrating it. There were speeches going on India's freedom, but there was a law which was passed by General Dyer. He was an officer. It was that if more than 2 or 3 people gather, they would be killed. Not killed, they would be sent to trial. Means like they have to go, they will catch by the police and they will go to court, and there will be a case and there will be a punishment like hanging or something. That process is known as trial. So they went to trial, but there was some other officer who passed that law. So he said that there is no need to do the trial also. They can also kill the people. So this was against the orders of General Dyer. So that General Dyer saw that people were gathered at the Jallianwala Bagh and were celebrating a festival. He came here and ordered his soldiers to fight at the crowd, and the park had only one exit or entry and some emergency exits, which the policemen blocked and started firing like mad. Hundreds of people were killed and lakhs were injured. The country was shocked by this incident. All the national leaders protested strongly against this cruel act. So now also there are some blood marks on the walls of Jallianwala Bagh. I got this picture from net. I'll show you. Non-Cooperation Movement. In 1920, Gandhiji launched the Non-Cooperation Movement. What did he ask? That he asked people to disobey the laws peacefully, as he was his method of fighting was satyagraha, which was based on truth and non-violence. So here he said to disobey the laws peacefully because he was against violence. So in Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, some people set fire to a police station where 22 policemen died. Gandhiji was against violence, as I told you, and withdrew the movement immediately. After he withdrew the movement, he was sent to jail in 1922. Civil Disobedience Movement. In December 1929, the Congress demanded Purna Swaraj, complete independence from the government. The civil disobedience began early in 1930 under the leadership of Gandhiji. The movement began with Dandi March. As you know, there was a law called the Salt Law, in which the Indians were not allowed to make salt. But Gandhiji and his followers marched from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi near Surat, along the coast of Gujarat. Here, Gandhiji made salt and broke the salt law. So I have a picture of Dandi March here. Next is Quit India Movement. In August 1942, Gandhiji started the Quit India Movement. The British government was asked to quit India. In this, Gandhiji asked people to do or die. Karo ya maro. There were nationwide protests. Many leaders were jailed. Independence. After the Second World War ended in 1945, the British government agreed to leave India. However, it was decided to divide country into two, India and Pakistan. On 15th August 1947, India became a free country. Jawaharlal Nehru was elected the first Prime Minister of India, while Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President. With this began a new phase in the history of India. So this is a note. In the description box, you'll find a link. Click on that link and solve a quiz. So I have a quiz for you in the description box below. Click on that link and you will solve a very good quiz. It's very simple, very easy based on this lesson. So, tell me, how did you like this? Did you like it? If yes, then please put it in the chat box below. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.